So this is Rise of the Tomb Raider, the second game in the Survivor Trilogy, which are the more modern reboots of the Tomb Raider games. And I think this one is my favorite of the three. This game has sort of a nice balance of like action, where Lara is still going through and fighting off a bunch of guys. Like this time she's fighting Trinity, which is like this military force. It's like a militia, and she's trying to find this ancient treasure before Trinity does, and they also would like this ancient treasure too. It's the usual Tomb Raider stuff where Lara is racing against a small military to find an ancient treasure. Also, she finds out that Trinity was the reason why her father died, and she wants to get revenge against them and all that stuff. Um, this game certainly has much more of a focus on actual like story building and than the first game did. Now, the first game was mostly just like action-oriented stuff, where Lara was fighting for her survival off the island and she had to go find Sam. Sam, interestingly enough, does not show up in this game. Jonah does in the first like hour or so. But this time, I think the combat is much better. Is somebody behind me? Anyway, this time you can actually craft med kits like on the fly and all that stuff. It's fascinating. Also, if Lara finds like any bottles on the ground or any cans, she can actually craft like Molotovs and other weapons out of those. So you also have the ability to craft these weapons like on the fly and all that stuff. It's quite nice. Also, exploding arrows. Oh, I gotta reload. Exploding arrows. Also showing up in this game. That was the wrong shoulder. There we go. But yes, the combat in this game, as I said, definitely is an improvement on the first. I mean, you hope so, at least, because this is like the next game in the series, right? But I love finding a bottle on the ground and like crafting a Molotov out of it. I think that's really fun. Also, this game does have the whole optional tomb system that the first game had, where the big tombs are still optional. You can choose not to do them if you don't want to, but like what's the fun in like not doing them, right? But anyway, so I still think this is the best game in the series. It's got some really cool environments in it. Also, the underwater swimming stuff is back, you know, the usual Tomb Raider stuff you'd expect. These armored enemies are back in the game. But you know, the shotgun seems to take pretty quick work of them. See if I can dodge this here. Interesting. But yes, I find myself using the shotgun most of the time, just because like it's up close, does a lot of damage. Not very accurate from far away, the usual, you know, the video game stuff of the shotgun having a lot of spread. This is a character named Jacob who assists Lara and all that stuff. But I do think that this game, as I said, is the best of the three. At least I remember liking this one the most when I played through them originally. But it's nice to see that this game has a nice balance between like the exploration portions and the combat. Like it isn't as combat heavy as the first game was, but then again, I guess Lara's circumstances were different. One thing I do kind of wish that this game had a little bit more of is actually like exploring stuff. I think the divine source is like the artifact that they're looking for here. But you have like a lot of world building and stuff going on. I'll skip this cutscene for now. But you still have the old platforming where you shoot a rope arrow like this and you climb across and everything. You still have the old platforming stuff, which I think is definitely this game's strong suit. Just like these environments look really nice. Look at this, you can grapple. Look at that, she's doing her best Spider-Man impression. But I mean, look at this game. It's a very nice looking game, right? I can understand why people kind of prefer Shadow in terms like which Tomb Raider game is the better one, because Tomb Raider, if Shadow the Tomb Raider I should say, if I remember correctly, had much more of like an exploration focus, more so like actually raiding tombs. But you know, I suppose you have to have some sort of combat to keep it interesting. The original games did have combat as well, like human enemies, most like animals and stuff. Like I don't think you're going to be fighting a T-Rex in these games or any kind of dinosaur. any kind of like ancient creature, I suppose. But we have the old axe climbing here, the shimmying across the ledge. But then again, the platforming stuff is nice. I mean, I don't think there's too much of it. Look at that, we can even grapple to a wall. Oh, look at that. Lara's got some new stuff that's just been introduced. How nice is that? But I always felt like the movement, the navigation, was always one of the cooler parts of this game. Here's a geothermal valley, which is one of the little areas in this game. This game has like small open world sections, which I suppose is quite similar to what Tomb Raider 2013 had. But it's just nice to just kind of run around and just take in the sights and everything. My favorite portion of this game was definitely the Siberia section, which was like this big snowy tundra. And you would go in there and I don't know what happened there. But you would like you had to fight a bear while you were there too, but I really liked seeing the snow building up on her outfit. It just looked really nice. Make sure I actually land on that rope. I missed it again. I don't know if I jumped off too late or what. I've noticed this has happened a couple of times while I'm playing through this game, where Lara will jump towards the ledge and just not grab onto it. Maybe I'm supposed to hold on a little bit longer or something. There we go. I just hold forward the entire time. But this game does have side missions as well, similar to the definitive edition of Tomb Raider 2013. Now, I don't know if this game has like those side missions where it's like, okay, burn a banner. It's like, all right, what do I need to do that for? Oh, destroy these wind chimes. But like, for what? In this game, most of the side missions are just kind of like Lara learning different languages, like she learns Russian or Greek. And I think that does make sense, because after all, she would be, I missed that jump completely. Because afterwards, I mean, it does make sense, because in the world, you know, she would be traveling around to different countries. So it does make sense for her to want to learn different languages, because it would make her expeditions much easier if she can actually understand, you know, the local languages. So I thought that those side missions were cool. But as I said, for the most part, you're just going to be platforming and fighting a bunch of enemies along the way. The optional tombs, which is like the traditional puzzle-solving platforming stuff, are still optional, which I guess is fine. If you don't want to do them, you don't have to. I think it's a good choice. Me, personally, I would prefer to do it, because this is a Tomb Raider game after all. And I'm very experienced with the Tomb Raider franchise. Look at that, I got a stealth kill. But, the combat's nice. It doesn't feel like tacked on or anything. The combat does not feel like an afterthought. And plus, crafting explosives is always very, very cool too. Look at that. Very cool. Who's on that guy? I missed that completely. Yes, you can craft a Molotov here. Let me see if I can get anybody else with it. That's way cooler. Alright, let me get the pistol out. Just like the other Tomb Raider games, you have a pistol, a shotgun, an assault rifle. You have bow and arrow. The bow and arrow is great like for stealth. It's also good for just getting like quiet kills. Also, for some reason Lara can't just pull the arrows out, but if you upgrade it, you get a chance of pulling the arrows out. But like whatever, despite the fact that I guess the arrows could break or something. But yes, the combat is, as I've said earlier, quite an improvement upon 2013. It doesn't feel as sluggish, right? Although, I did think the combat was easier in the first game, just because Lara has less health. Like her health bar will just disintegrate in seconds, which I guess is more realistic if somebody's shooting at you the entire time. But I think the story is a strong suit of this game. But as I said, you know, she's not stranded on an island with a military force chasing after her. This time she's actively trying to take down this military force for revenge purposes and also for trying to find treasure. So she's not just doing it just revenge. She actually has a second motive, because Trinity killed her father. This guy's gonna come after me probably. Get these guys out. Did I hit that guy? I guess I did. It's hard to tell in this game. Did that guy just eat a shotgun? I know I'm rushing down here. I'm being very aggressive, like playing Akuma in Super Turbo right now. But yes, the combat is a lot better in this game though. It's just mostly crafting like Molotovs. That's really the only big improvement, I guess, of this game. Also, there are stealth mechanics, so if they're highlighted in yellow, you can actually take them out silently without attracting attention. But we'll have to see. Sometimes the AI doesn't see something you think they should have seen, and then sometimes they spot you like immediately. But maybe that's just a strange artifact. There you go, dude. Catch that. Miss all those completely. There's also different weapons you can get in this game, but there's different assault rifles, different pistols and stuff that you can get. It's very nice. Also, these guys will still rush you, despite the fact that you have like a shotgun. These guys just don't care. That guy took 3 shotgun blasts. You see that? Alright. See if I can flank these guys. I'm kind of cornered here, but at the same time, they can't get to me. That spread it out a lot further than I thought it would. That guy got in the way, but it didn't matter that much. Alright, look at that. We finished this combat encounter. Very, very cool. But yeah, as I said, this is probably my favorite Tomb Raider game of the Survivor Trilogy. If you ask me what I think is the best Tomb Raider game overall, I might say this one. But I don't know, I'm a really big fan of like, Tomb Raider 3. I thought that one was pretty cool. I thought Anniversary was cool. But yes, as I said, I've always been a big fan of Tomb Raider, even when I was younger, so it's nice to play through these games every once in a while. This is the first time in like 3 years that I've played this game though, so it's pretty cool. I mean, look at this. This just looks nice. Look at these rain effects. Very, very cool.